Atlantic Blowout it is on Atlantic Television Network. Good morning to you wherever you're watching us from. Welcome. The Atlantic Blowout is a syndicated live program of the network that features chit-chatting and conversations on special interest topics, on news events, on stories through correspondent reports, expert opinion, stakeholders analysis, where we get to look at stories making rounds in Nigeria today. We'll take a look at this juicy story from River State, where it's reported that the federal government gives 21,650 bags of rice for distribution. Students' loan fine by Tinubu. And then on economy, IMF revises Nigeria's GDP growth on weaker growth. And then on crude oil, Dangote refinery insists IOC is frustrating its supply.
Corruption not in my country.
Why you just dey jack us up and down like this now?
I hope nobody carry belle.
Why you ask oh?
Because this road where they see so, it no guarantee safe delivery.
We just dey vote for government, but we not get good governance.
At all.
Road so e no dey. Light o usai. The infrastructure nko e come turn to be forbidden fruit for the city.
Corruption, spoil everything. Hello?
Hello, madam. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Mrs. Ayeni. I am calling from the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs.
Okay. Okay, I've been expecting your call.
Madam, remove this your phone from loudspeaker.
No vex. Now my phone be like that. Hello?
Are you there?
I hear, I'm hearing you.
Yes. We saw a copy of your invoice for computers, printers, and laptops.
Yes. Are you working on them now?
Ma, the prices the laptop you said is 1.8 million naira for 600,000 naira.
Corruption not in my country.
I don't get a lot. Boy, they won't booga me small. They say, man, give them bribe. I say, nothing. Okay, now, we'll go block later. You remember that contract where we do that time now? They don't pay.
But first, you see the house rent with the old things. We go first call caretaker, take them.
Where me and boys, they shark beer in our house, I go pay that one. You remember saying me, I tell you, I go buy you motor. I go buy now.
Okay, they pay you money now. Why we don't they beg caretaker? Why would they beg landlord, old man, and they agree give us time? Money can't come now. You won't divert time. You said na corruption. Corruption, not in my house and not in my country.
Sure?
Sure.
Corruption not in my country.
Report from Atlantic Television Network.
Corruption not in my country.
Kasali, I hope so my car don't ready. I get interview in 30 minutes.
Okay, you don't ready. I just the last minute instruction where you give me yesterday. Now in the cause more delay.
Which instruction?
Maybe now you say make I change the meter, make you no read again.
Which time did I make you change meter? Oh, Kasali, why you do like this now? You don't get sense. You don't read the text message. Nobody I want send them to. Like Kasali, my electrician, make it come house, call me do my meter so that you don't go to read again. You the electrician.
Electrician.
Yes, now.
So you call Kasali electrician, make it come help you adjust your meter, make it for no read again, abi. So you said you want join people where be say they no want they pay NEPA bill again, abi. Oga, you no good now. You don't you said you don't they behave like all these stiff people.
Oh, what you change for your motor? What you change for?
Two lights. Fuel gauge. Speedo. Meter.
For what now? You for come out for home my motor. I bet you identify for me.
Okay. Now don't do something we corrupt. I greet you.
Corruption not in my
This
country.
message is brought to you by the Akin Fade Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
And with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
Corruption not in my country.
What you want to buy?
Potato, small baskets. I want plantain. But why your plantain can't hard like this?
Madam, now the outside hard. Inside there, it is very soft.
Madam, wallahi make her no buy am. Make her show you something. What? What in be this one? Put the plantain make her ripe up.
So you dey put chemical for plantain where people go chop?
No water, no be chemical.
Madam, water. You know say Pela I don't talk and say water and not be enemy. Drink am.
We are collect that.
Thank you for staying with us, and it's Ambassador Ekie to the rescue today. He's a public affairs analyst amongst many other things, but he just likes to be simply introduced as a public affairs analyst. Good morning to you, Ambassador.
My pleasure being here.
Welcome.
Nigeria must be better.
Yeah, of course, of course. Let's look at this story talking about a deliberation that's in a deliberate effort to cushion the difficult economic season. The federal government has released thousands of bags of rice to Rivers State. And in response, the Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has expressed gratitude to...
Good thing. We want to thank Mr. President. This is not the first time that he's distributing to a family. At least they will be able to balance their diet to a reasonable extent and then help one or two needs around them. So should improve and do more. Now, the governor, through the secretary to government, have said that committees has been set up to evenly distribute these materials, these resources, these food items to the common people at the grassroots. I would like to appeal, first of all, that this distribution should not be made on political consideration, on party line, or on factional line, because we are aware there is relatively men are members of a political family. So that's what we are saying. So it has never changed before. So all we are saying is that it should not be that way. Like the last time that they did, I'm aware, they gave to different groups too. Like the ones they gave to Christian Association of Nigeria, and they gave to some frontline main churches that have, widespread. And I'm sure that it helped. It was not politicized, because the ones given to religious leaders and religious organizations, even to the Islamic organizations, they made sure that maybe distributed among political line. It should be given
right now. Some people see it as a waste of resources, while other people see it, like you have said, as commendable. But do you think, looking at the situation, the economic situation, and what the people are going through right now, do you think this is what is really needed at the moment? Is this the emergency measure that Nigerians need at the moment?
Well, economically it's not the best, but having a breakfast on your table is still commendable.
And then by 12 p.m., it's off your stomach.
Good. So that's why I said for economic for himself.
So what would have been the best?
The best, like I always advocate, is resources, cash. If you give Nigerians little money, even like the POS, it doesn't take more than 100,000 to start a POS business. So we need reasonable extent, and that was much more than this number, So my appeal is that it should be evenly distributed, and for those of us who can afford, that's my plea, because those who can afford rice in Rivers State, to a reasonable extent are in a good numbers. So, but the truth is that the people who will have access to this rice are those who can afford this rice. So that's why I'm appealing that those of us who can afford these resources, when you get it, the common man who cannot have access to these government provisions should now be reached out to the way we do, so that the common man, which is the intention.
Yeah, we get that point now. Back to what we're talking about, where you said the money distribution would have been better than foodstuff distribution.
Yes.
And I asked the question, what is the guarantee that this money
naira? That period of a few weeks or 1 week, depending on the size of the family, they can have good nutrition.
We don't even know how the distribution is going to be, and someone was talking about
a cup.
Someone was talking about cups.
No, of a truth, like I said, not all Rivers people will get it, because
it's not for all Rivers people.
Yes, the population is quite.
It's not even for all Rivers people.
It's for
just
the
for the
poorest of the poor. So that's why I said.
How do they usually identify the poorest of the poor?
We know.
These are questions that some Nigerians ask when they see
identifying like them. That's why I said institutions that have grassroots base, like religious organization. The churches have, they know those.
Chaired by Mrs. Ibori, that's PDP Delta, during Wednesday's plenary in Abuja. And you'll recall that while defending the Commission's 2024 budget before the House Committee on NDDC earlier in July, Managing Director of the NDDC, Samuel Buku, stated that the Commission would source funding for its proposed spending from loans to the tune of 1 trillion naira, where he said we have strategically made provisions towards diversifying our sources of funding, as we intend to source an aggregate sum of 1 trillion naira to fund ongoing legacy projects of the Commission in 2024. The sum will be outsourced from development and commercial banks. Now, Buku stressed that investing in critical infrastructure is a key component of our fiscal strategy under the 2024 budget.
The original intention or the purpose of forming NDDC. For me, I would like to appeal to Mr. President, even if the National Assembly has adopted that budget, because it has to do with relieving the federal government from the headache of funding that budget. So it's like, okay, if you know you can source for this fund, go ahead. But my worriness is that we are where we are today because of the huge indebtedness of the federal government that runs in 140 something
we're going
trillion.
For more
yes, and then different commissions now, apart from the state government and federal government have not built. What I'm trying to say is that the NDDC should collaborate with the state governments, just like the former president appealed to them. Collaborate with the federal government. There are areas that state government are already on. You don't need to intervene in those areas. So what we are saying is that there is hunger in the land. There is insecurity in the land. So the NDDC should concentrate on ensuring that the Niger Delta people, their economic well-being is improved upon.
How is the NDDC supposed to do that?
You can come up with grants.
The NDDC?
Of course. It's their intervention agency. They didn't give them the mandate that you must build a hospital. There is this one. Every money that has
understand that they are borrowing it for a reason.
Every money that has been borrowed in this country that ran to this 140 trillion was for a reason. there is never a time that the bank or the Senate or National Assembly will approve a loan or a borrowing.
When we talk about economy in Nigeria, has a very huge role to play. Having that some of these products are being transported from one state to the other, still through that road.
We are not disputing.
Don't you think that is going to really help the economy? Because Nigerians have applauded it because they feel that way.
Yes, I applauded them. That is not the reason why the 1 trillion will be borrowed. The resources they use in trying to intervene in that east-west road has nothing to do with this 1 trillion plus. This is a new budget they are coming up with. So my appeal is that NDDC should look at projects that will alleviate the economic cry of the Niger Delta people. It's not the time to say you want to build a train road. It's not the time you want to do one kind.
We have loans for fees, we have loans also, student loans for business.
So that's a good one. So I think if the student loan for business is emphatical, one, our students have to brace up in their studies, because most times here in Nigeria we believe that when a child is going to school, if he goes to do business, is a distraction. So I want to appeal to our students, if that loan gives you opportunity for business, be very serious with the business angle for now.
And leave the school?
No, until training is reviewed. Because if you focus on the school with what you are having now, right now, that we know. What the point is, every Nigerian right now needs money. The student we are talking about needs money. Every Nigerian now needs to contribute to the economic restoration of Nigeria. We have so many jobless Nigerians now.
So the problem, the solution should be looking at creating jobs. Instead of saying don't give them, don't put it in your school fees.